artist whose unique works blend tradition, art, and innovation in the most captivating ways. This episode is extra special, as we are not just celebrating the Lunar New Year, but also marking 1 year of a creative collaboration with Matteo Mauro Studio. Together, we have merged the worlds of art, fashion, and culture, creating something really extraordinary. We'll dive into the inspiration of Matteo works, the stories behind our partnership, and how art and design can connect us to heritage while shaping the future. So, sit back, relax, and let's explore this artistic journey together. So, the first question, who is Matteo Mauro?
Matteo Mauro is a lucky artist that collaborated with G Fashion. Not many have done. Matteo Mauro is a visionary who believes that fashion and art can merge. And Matteo Mauro is an artist that dedicated his entire life to this practice since 2016.
Perfect. And when does Matteo Mauro start to be Matteo Mauro Studio?
The studio was founded in 2017 in London, in the Mornington Crescent area. At that time, I recently discovered my first painting style, which was called the micromegalic inscriptions. I was pretty sure that I had to really focus on making this style unique and bring it around the world. So after that time, I started traveling, bringing these paintings around the world. I went to China twice, I went to New York, I've done exhibitions in Latin America, and the style was starting to be very appreciated, and I started to win some awards internationally. So I think 2017 is the year when Matteo Mauro Studio began.
Okay, the concept of Matteo Mauro, how can you describe it? How can you explain it in some words?
So, my way of painting is a way of creating a new language through the use and the glorification of line work. It's something that has its roots in classical art and the art of engravings, which managed to create a new language for pictorial images. The same way that calligraphy, for instance, became a way of expressing art in Chinese culture, for instance. And for me, line kept in an abstract world can have the same power of calligraphy to communicate artistic concepts.
Perfect. I know that you got prizes, you made a lot of exhibitions. Can you just tell us, in general, where have they been and which is the most captivating prize that you got?
For sure, I think the most rewarding prize was awarded to me by the son of Salvador Dali, Victor, and it was the Van Gogh Prize, if I remember well, in 2018. But a few years before that, I had my first prize by a doctoral research group of images of the University College of London, which really thought my style was something unprecedented. And I think that was the first time that I had, an official confirmation that I was on the right path to discovering something new.
Okay, so if you will describe yourself as an artist, a painter, I know that you were also in Forbes, for example. Do you think this is important for artists?
I think being in the media is also a further acknowledgement of the effort that a good artist puts in his practice. And when Forbes declared me the star of the Italian crypto market, it was definitely a turning point of my career. Since Forbes has a great knowledge on what technology, where technology is at any moment, showcasing, the best of, the current standards. So I think, yes, of course, I think that was a great moment of my career, as many others, to be honest. And I think I was very excited when an important gallerist in New York defined my art hyper-contemporary.
Wow, amazing.
Thank you.
Matteo, your inspirations, are they from someone? Are they from a country, from a culture, from technology? So where do you get your inspirations?
Thanks for this question. I think it's very important. It's hard to say when the inspiration and where the inspiration arrives, because it's a mix of all these emotions and learning processes coming together. I think, being exposed to various cultures and always embracing, the differences and the courage of people who like to feel different without any fear has helped me to, apply that freedom to my art. Inspiration comes a lot from studying classical art, as I said. I think from classical art, I learned the technique. From looking around the world, I learned, what really represents our zeitgeist, our moment we live in. From living my own life, I learned what emotions are, what love is, what friendship is, what suffering is, or what fighting rules may be or may lead to. And I think art could be the perfect driver to go around all these routes.
Actually, Matteo's works also they explain with a lot of emotions. For example, the statues of he and she. It's a story of love. It's a love from first sight. How do you describe this piece of work?
Thank you. I'm glad you remember he and she, which I showed you last year during your previous site visit. I think he and she, it's a very autobiographical piece of art, which in a way connects to the life of many other people, which is a story of love, which is shared by two parts, he and she, who have some difficulties in communicating this love. And in fact, I would love later to show you the pieces together. These two sculptures, they look at each other without seeing each other, which is something that happens very often, in our lives. There's some souls that they feel connected, but they don't manage to find a place for them in this life. And they don't manage to have healthy communication and, to bring that spark into something which can really become, a connection.
Amazing. Actually, G Forever, who used to be G Fashion, this changement is a kind of upgrade to lifestyle. And our collaboration was the goal of this changement and the core of this changement. What do you think about our collaboration after 1 year, and what are your expectations?
So for me, working with you has led me to really increasing my standards in art. I really share, the same value as your brand in the way you don't want to conform to the rest of the brands. You really want to create something that is very different. And I think in art it's very important as an artist to really try and do something different, to not feel like you need to replicate what already exists, and not to feel like you can't wear something that makes you exceptional. For the same reason, you don't have to fear of making a painting that really stands out as something very different and very exceptional. So having the chance of connecting with someone who had that same vision that I had made my vision stronger, because when you encounter someone that really shares your values get stronger because you feel I'm not alone.
Absolutely. Matteo, It's a pride to be in this amazing place, surrounded by this amazing piece of art. How do you live your journey, and how do you connect with art?
My relationship to art is something quite peculiar, as I take it very seriously, as you know. I describe my work in between of something which is connected to the life of a monk with the life of a soldier. The reason why I connect these two things that appear very different, but they share, the same resilience and doctrine in really spending the entire time of their day to something they love. When I think of a monk, I think of how a monk can really, leave the rest of the world aside to really practice, that enlightenment route. And I think in the studio, I really feel I do that, daily. The soldier, on another side, dedicates, his doctrine and strength to really follow certain rules, which are applied, of course, by generals, but also by themselves, to really, have a routine that is stable, untouchable. It's quite, hard at times because you have little time to rest, for instance. Of course, soldiers, they apply to something which is more related to the war, to the instruction. I'm a soldier for construction. So, I use the same mentality to create, not to distract, for the peace of art, for the peace of love, for the peace of making rather than the opposite.
Amazing. Actually, in G Forever, we share the same vision about construction, about spreading love, about the story of the monk. Especially in the Buddha collection, for example, we tried to express our love in that collection, that stamp, which is one of our best sellers.
It's a beautiful piece of garment, I remember.
Yeah, actually, you
yeah, I used last year.
Exactly, amazing. Listen, so I can't wait to see the artworks. And I would like to announce that if you will purchase today, you will get an extra 10% on artworks of Matteo Mauro. Can we check?
Absolutely. Let's go around. Okay, so I would like to start with the Judgment, the painting over there.
The Judgment. So, why the Judgment?
So the Judgment, it's a painting available at the G Forever store. It's an edition of 2 on aluminium. As you can see, this is an almost abstract painting. It still comes to my language of just painting with lines. So you can see all these lines begin to create some forms. These forms in particular are 3 women and a man.
Yes.
The scene is taken by a classical theme, which is the Judgment of Paris, and it's the event that caused the Trojan War. It's when Paris met Helena for the first time. So I like to imagine this to be Paris, and then these 3 beautiful girls ready to fight for that apple. However, I see this also as an artist with 3 muses. All these elements are hidden in the narrative of this painting, which is literal but also abstract. And this is what I like about my art. You don't straight away need to see what I'm trying to say. You can see something else while the roots are there, if you want to connect to it. Another great painting that is still available, not many are still available on G Forever. It's The House and the World.
It's a new one, right?
Yes, this is also an edition of 2. The House and the World. The House and the World is a fully abstract painting, which is dedicated to the idea of these world travelers, people who were born in a country, live somewhere else. And sometimes they get asked, where do you feel at home? And it's hard to answer that question because, you never know. When you're home, you don't feel home. When you're away, you don't feel home. And
Amazing.
each artwork is also certified by Arte Italia, which is the main certifier in Italy, and it's got a certificate of authenticity with a serial number.
So tell me about something, the certifications. Why you use the certifications and what is the value of the certification?
I think the certification nowadays is what really makes the art. Because an artwork without certification, it's not an artwork yet, it's an object. What makes it an artwork, it's how you certify it to be an artwork. And that allows also for secondary market and allows the artwork to live a life within the market without the artist being alive anymore. So we spend, the most time to develop the best possible technologies. This artwork in particular is also certified on the Ethereum blockchain with an NFT assigned.
Okay, what does it mean?
So it means it's certified on something which is always online and never editable. So it's something which is eternal, infinite, and no one can change it or fake it. So it's a certificate, it's the strongest digital certificate that exists today.
Okay. Do you think, because a lot of customers, they ask us about investments, do you think this is a good investment?
My art or,
Yes, also your art.
From the past, when I value an investment myself as an investor, I always look at the past of that, trade. And looking at my art, you can see how prices have been steadily growing organically, and artworks have reached some very high quotation on auctions. So studying that standard, it feels like it's a great investment, but not just monetarily, but also as an addiction to your house, to your life, for what is going to bring you as a daily emotion.
Perfect. Let's explore something else.
Absolutely. Something else very interesting, which is still available, are these museum-sized bronzes. So this is a full bronze sculpture, handmade by the lost wax casting method of he. He has two meanings. One is he, himself, and the other one is the beginning of Hermes, the Greek god, the messenger.
Yes.
So this phase is in fact taken by a very important Greek god sculpture, the sculpture of Hermes. And this sculpture has two sides, one which is figurative, one which is abstract. I always like to have this duality in my work.
Yes.
One which
contrast.
is exactly.
So it's made by?
This is bronze, polished bronze. Yeah. Okay. This bronze is not chromed, meaning it's not covered up with a new layer of metal, but it's just polished by hand through a process of polishing with sandpaper and waxes, so to expose the nature of bronze itself, its imperfection, its changing colors, the way it oxidizes. So it's an active sculpture. It's not a sculpture which has been coated into a different layer of material.
Yes.
Regarding to Hermes, we also have this medium-sized version. I think we have just the last two available of this edition of 5 at G Forever. And this is, it looks like two different materials, but actually is what I said before. This is a material which is alive. So it's not coated or it's not painted. It's just a material which reacts to do different reaction. One is the polishing, one is the rain. So the internal part is what we would call the rust on bronze, which is green, because bronze is made of 90% of copper, and then the outside is still the polishing. So you have the aging with the classical side and the hyper-contemporary with the abstract side.
One question, how many time does it take to make a piece of art like this?
Very long. From the idea to the object, to the artifact, it takes a long time. We're talking about years.
Years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And this is why also I think it's important to invest in art, because this is a special piece. It's not made by an industry. It's an artist confirmed by medias and confirmed by a lot of websites and customers and valuable circuit. It takes time to make a piece like this. So I believe that this is a very important investment.
Thank you. I agree. Okay, now we move on to another sculpture which is available, and it's the He in black bronze,
yes,
museal size. So this sculpture, it's a unique piece, so that it exists only in one piece. There are no editions. This is, again, it's a bronze, and the way it becomes black, it's through a process of burning the bronze and treating it with black oil. So any color that you see in bronze, it's an evolution of that material.
So how do you burn bronze?
With a blowtorch.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So actually, let's also highlight the fact that all the artworks are handmade.
Absolutely. All the sculptures are handmade, and for the inscriptions on aluminium, we created a machine to make them.
Yes, so technically, actually, it's not an easy process, let's say.
It's a very long process, yeah.
Yes.
Before to get to here, you have at least 8 other different steps of the sculptures, which can sometimes feel like the sculpture itself, but it's then destroyed and then recreated, destroyed and recreated. For instance, a sculpture like that first has a clay model. That clay model then becomes a silicone mold. The silicone mold is then filled with wax. The silicone mold is broken. The wax is then packed with sand and plaster. The wax is melted. The sand and plaster is infused with bronze. The plaster is broken. The sand goes away. The bronze comes out as something which is almost a diamond, you know, when you find it the first time. So it's all, you know, just something unpleasant that you need to polish it until you get to something which is still unfinished, and then you need to patinate it with, you know, the polishing, the black oil burning, the green patina, and so on. So the process is so long, and you know, it takes the artist to, you know, various levels of crafting.
Actually, by the way, I invite everyone to check Matteo Mauro social medias on Facebook, on Instagram, and also the website. And remember always that his artworks are available on our website. So we'll be very glad to assist you with any requests that you need. And also Matteo is available for any request. If you need any question or you have any hesitations, please contact us and we'll be glad to answer you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamil. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
In art, every detail is chosen with care and devotion. Every creation tells a story, our story. The story of the creator, the story of the collector. Each of us represent a unique thread, woven into the great tapestry of life. I aspire to transcend boundaries. I feel in a state of renewed perception at this crossroad of time and space. Here, art and fashion merge in a dialogue that goes beyond simple aesthetics. G-Fashion and I dance together between dream and reality in a mosaic of emotions and identities. We embrace the essence of fashion as a form of art, transforming something disposable into something eternal. This collaboration is a harmony of cultures, meeting between the ancient and the modern, between the East and the West. G-Fashion garments become a statement of courage, a narrative of glorious pasts and bright futures. Possessing these artifacts makes you feel tradition and innovation blending onto your skin. They're not just mere garments. They have a timeless soul. They are works of art. Welcome to a universe where every fabric tells a unique story, where every creation is a statement of freedom, where every artifact is a big step towards discovering our infinite possibilities.